Welcome to the Babies in Business Podcast. Join your hosts, Rachel and Avram Gonzalez, real-life parents and business partners. Each week on Babies in Business, Rachel and Avram create a space for entrepreneurial parents to find their own way. They'll dive into insights on topics like leadership, efficiency, self-awareness, budgeting, and human psychology as they nurture their family and build their business. Here's your hosts, Avram and Rachel.
You know the feeling where things just get frustrating and annoying, but you don't know why, and it continues to bubble up and foam and then boil over, and then finally you realize what the problem is when you get out of it?
Yeah, and that you had a means of getting out of it, but you first have to identify it, maybe, to then get out of it.
Couldn't see it, just in a lot of resistance, then maybe some denial about it.
Yes.
We recently moved, which has been a huge transition for our family. I lived in the house that we moved from just over 9 years. So we moved out on Labor Day of this year, and I had landed in New Mexico on August 28th of 2016.
Yep.
So pretty interesting that the timelines showed up like that, but a lot has happened in that time.
Oh my gosh.
I moved here with an ex. That didn't work out. Then Rachel entered my life. And then shortly thereafter, a couple months after, moved in to that same home that, by the way, my grandparents built. Right? So kind of cool. Lived there, got married 2 years later.
Yep.
And then 2 years after that, 2022, had our first child, Lincoln.
Yep.
Rachel birthed him at our home.
Yep.
Okay. And then 2 years after that, 2 years plus 8 days, then Rachel birthed August, our second child, in the home. And
you make that be a big deal because you never thought about having kids at home. And when I asked you about it, you're like, I mean, I guess we could do it the old-fashioned way. And you would tell people about that. And I'm 7 of 11, and I had watched my younger siblings be born at home, so it seemed like just the way that things are done.
Yeah.
So anyway, side note on that.
Yeah, well, you know, the midwives tell me that about 2% of the births in America happen at home.
Yeah.
I was like, so...
Very low.
Very low, pretty rare. It wasn't until the second child arrived that we realized any of the frustrations that we'll kind of share a little bit about today.
Yeah.
Where we're going with all this, by the way, is the things in your life that you have outgrown.
Yes.
The systems you have outgrown, maybe the people that you have outgrown, but there may be some resistance or attachment that is holding you back, that you are logically justifying to make a change and make a step forward.
Yeah. And I think that there are things along the way, there are these things that are giving you feedback about your life that you are denying right now. You have outgrown something, but you're not really seeing that as a symptom of you have outgrown this thing.
We were already having issues with just the one child at home, and being that we work from home.
Yeah.
You know,
small home.
Small home. We had a nanny for some time that was in the home all day, and it's like the noise bounces around everywhere.
Yeah.
A toddler does not love being separated in the morning, and you go to work when they're like 2 years old. They will be flipping out.
Yes, and sometimes the
for like
transitions were an hour long, which may seem crazy, but that was the reality that we were living in this home. So it was difficult with one.
And then two, it was like,
It pushed it over the edge.
one of the crazy things that came up for me, and then Rachel, I know there was a breaking point for you that I want you to share. One of the things that was wild was that we were having a nap. He's now 1 August. We were napping him in the master bedroom.
Yes.
So this thing would happen where if I didn't have all of my clothes picked out for the gym and for work, the night before.
And for maybe any meetings that you might have or whatever that was, like all the stuff.
Everything I could possibly need for the next day picked out the night before. I would run into this issue where I would like wake up, go to the gym before the boys are awake, come back home, and guess what?
Baby's napping.
Baby's napping. Can't go in the room to get my stuff.
You couldn't even shower.
I couldn't even shower sometimes.
And shave.
Right. If I didn't shave the day before or the night before, then I couldn't shave. And I'm like,
if you didn't remember all your shaving stuff and put it in the guest bath, and then maybe a shampoo and conditioner, because at that time I didn't have everything in there.
Then it was like, I can't record this video until I shave. I look like an animal right now. There was just like all these really...
The implications that we did not even think about.
Became problems.
Yeah, it became massive. And so here's the thing. If these things are happening once a month, once every quarter, it's not a deal. It's not an issue. But when your baby is napping 6 times a day, it is happening 6 times a day. So it does feel like the room that your baby is napping in is off limits for the day. From the first nap to the last nap, depending on what your day looks like.
Yeah.
So we found massive things going on.
Yeah, so, we're living with that for like over a year.
Yep.
And we had this idea like, what if we buy the home that we're in from my family instead of just renting it?
Yep.
This could be a real possibility for us. Maybe we do some renovations, this or that.
It might be a whole different episode about the things that were wrong with the house in the thought of buying it for the situation that we're in.
Uh-huh. We ended up deciding not to.
Yeah.
And there was a moment that Rachel came to me after a very difficult day. What were some of the key points in that day?
Yeah, so here I am. I had been looking at rentals and I was looking at options, and there were reasons why, but I just really, I realized that the problems that we were experiencing could be solved by one single decision. And that was choosing to move into a place that had more space for us. We have 2 boys. I would like them in separate rooms because their napping schedule is completely different. And if they sleep in the same room, they wake each other up. If you know, you know. We also have a business, and we need to be able to have that be a separate room instead of a baby sleeping in there at night, because there are times when we want to take an evening meeting because we have team that are all over the world. All sorts of implications. So this day comes along. This is the day that I'm going to tell Avram, yes, I do want to move out. I have the place designated where we want to land. That's my decision. I would like your buy-in to move. I was nauseous that entire day. I felt like I was going to vomit from the moment I woke up. And
why?
Well, because I knew that this was a big deal. We had been living small for the last 5 years, 7 years actually, since living together, and choosing to not move up, forward, and on to something different and better and new that would work for us. So I was choosing to move a lot of energy with this decision. And so here's this thing, I feel nauseous this whole day, and I'm trying to work up the courage. It's about 4:30 in the evening, and I am losing my courage fast. I'm tired. I have the boys with me. I think that was not a school day. It could have been maybe a holiday. Regardless, it's time for August to nap. We'd had the foresight for you to move the bed out of the office.
Yep.
And you had taken a meeting. Or no, you were recording videos. That's what you were doing.
Yep.
You were recording a ton of videos. The noise in the house had caused you to actually have to re-record 3 of the videos. Lincoln was still napping when it was time for August to go down. I had planned to nap him in Lincoln's room once he had woken from this nap. He had not woken. I was getting agitated, frustrated. I'd had the bed, put it into the master bedroom, napped August in there. It wasn't ideal.
Now you're locked out of the master bedroom.
Now I'm locked out of the master bedroom. There are things that I can't do, things that I had planned to do. And I'm super frustrated. And in that moment when I'm putting August down, instead of seeing the blessing that my toddler is still sleeping at 4:30, I'm seeing the challenge that I need to nap my 1-year-old at 4:30. So I'm feeling all of this stuff coming up. And I see in that moment, this is exactly why we need to move. because Avram is being prohibited from working and doing the things that he needs to do. He lost time by having to scrap those videos.
You guys were ended up in the bathroom right adjacent
Did.
to the office for like 15 minutes because Lincoln's taking a dump and he will not get off of the toilet.
It's true.
And then
he's very loud.
And then August is coming in, right, and
Yep.
pestering him. And
I had to put Zuna outside the back door because the Mormon missionaries knocked on the door. I have 2 babies sleeping. I open the door.
Dog goes off.
Dog goes off. I have to put her outside. I go out and talk to the missionaries. I'm trying to tell them with all the words that I have, it's not a good day. It's not a good time. And I am definitely not interested. And I ended up crying. And that was my day. And I chose that evening to tell you that we needed to move. Because of all these things that came up, this confirmation of all these things going on, this is why we need to move. Number one reason, I would like for you to be able to let your brilliance shine in business at any hour of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And this house that I had already picked out, and I'm pretty sure at this time you had not visited. It was that following Monday that we would go together.
I think you're right.
Because I had found this place that I really, really liked. There was a bedroom, or there was a room upstairs, 3 bedrooms upstairs, and one was separated from the others on the opposite side of the house. So carpet, it would be very good soundproofing, and you would be able to work at any time. I knew that in this situation, we would be able to grow our business just merely based off of the fact that you would be able to put in more time and you would not have to put the brakes on when the kids got home. I would be able to take care of them, which is what I love to do when they get home from school. My workday would be done, but you would be able to continue.
Yes. Big deal.
Huge.
Big deal. My resistance was really about the money.
Yeah.
It was a major increase in our financial outlay month to month.
Yep.
We had been operating from
Scared. Yeah.
Fear, being scared, because I owe some back taxes from years ago in my first business that been on a payment plan for a long time, did not want to make more money, like subconsciously did not want to make more money so that they could then assess and take more money, or, just like living scared. And so the thought of increasing our income, taking in more money from the business, which by the way, has been growing and growing and growing for years.
Exactly.
There was just a lot of fear around that. And then also in increasing 2.5-fold.
Yeah.
Our
outlay for rent.
And then like looking at a first month and last month.
Yep.
And then looking at paying an extra month in the place that we were.
Yeah.
We're talking about just like $8,000, $9,000 in rent for 1 month to do all these things. I'm basically crapping my pants. And I'm like, are you sure we can do this?
Well, and then I came in with, okay, so here this is. We have this owner pay account that just keeps growing. And it absolutely kills my soul. My soul is dying every single month that we don't tap into this. And for what?
And use it. Like,
why?
It's just
why
sitting.
aren't we using this? Why are we just sitting on this? And we're just suffering. So I think that it's really important that in all of this, that we're willing to evolve and to not be attached to the form that things are in right now. My form of attachment is I realized that I was attached to waiting. I'm someone that would rather save, and I grew up with nothing. So I think it's fair to say that I have experienced it, and I can make my life small enough to do so. But I don't really want to do that. That's not where I am in my life. I want to take up more space in the world, and I am doing so. I realized that the waiting I felt like that was the solution, just waiting it out. Wait 4 more years until this whole thing blows over and all the stuff.
Finish it up.
And we're all done with this payment plan and all the things. But what I realized is that the thing that I thought was the solution, it was actually the problem for me. The fact that we were standing still and waiting was the thing that killed me the most. I love forward momentum. And we have the money to do so. Yep. So I actually did the math. I showed you exactly what was what. I showed you the difference. I showed you this. I showed you the run rate. If nothing changed with our business, how long would we be able to keep going? Yada, yada, yada. I told you exactly how much more we needed to make on the top line revenue for our business in order to make all of this work.
It wasn't
much.
And
it wasn't much. if we're really honest about it, it wasn't much. It just felt like a lot because we've been sitting at the same amount in our business
For like 3
the
years.
last 3 years.
Yep.
So the stall in our business is what we were reacting to as I was looking at it.
Well, and you and I have shared this before the podcast, every single time that we have decided to increase our living expenses. So that was when we first started doing profit first
Yes.
accounting. That was the first place that we realized, oh, we must increase our income.
Yeah.
We did very quickly, like within 90 days.
Absolutely.
The second time was with our firstborn child, Lincoln.
Yep.
Again, up-leveled the whole business in like 60 to 90 days. And then again with our second child, same exact thing. We're like thinking about, what about, getting a nanny or getting them into childcare? We were having all these considerations.
so much.
We did the math and then realized we got to bring in this much top-line revenue to bring this much into our home. Boom.
Worked.
Again.
Absolutely.
So it's like
We've seen this happen.
there's so much evidence.
Yes.
It's like absurd to be caught up in so much of the resistance. But that was what I had to work through.
Exactly. And that's where we were. And what was interesting is, so here we are, we've decided to move, and we're driving in our neighborhood, our old neighborhood. And you said, oh, I'm going to miss these paths, because we have some really great paths in our old neighborhood where we would walk around, walk our dog, we'd take walks with the boys, lots of parks nearby. And then I posed the thought, I asked, well, are we really going to miss it, or are we just comfortable with it because this is what we've known? And I think that's a really important question to ask, or something like it, when we find ourselves just really comfortable where we're at. It's not because we love it, it's because it is what we know. So what are some of the familiar things, comfortable things that you have in your life that aren't serving you on the path of where you want to get to? I think that's a really great question to ask if you feel stuck, or you're frustrated with your spouse, or you find yourself not having much joy in the things that you're doing, or there's a lot of feedback mechanisms, feedback things that you're getting in your life right now that something isn't working. And you can identify what that is and choose to make a difference and a change.
Yeah.
Change things up.
Yeah.
And change is uncomfortable.
Every time. We'll talk about it in another podcast episode. We definitely had a lot of stuff that happened when we did move.
Yeah.
One of the highlights that I will share in the context of this conversation is that I closed a good chunk of business within a week of moving into the new house.
Exactly. And they were leads that had not been in our pipeline.
Yeah, they were new opportunities. And it's
From
like
scratch.
It's like, so we chose to move beyond the walls that we had created.
Correct.
We expanded our reality, literally and metaphorically.
Yes.
And then more new opportunities came in.
I think we expanded our footprint in the house by 1,000 square feet, was it? Or more?
More, like
More than
1,100.
that? So like 1,100 square feet more.
Yeah, we
We
were
have an
in
entire room extra. We have an extra bathroom. We have a tub in our children's bathroom instead of only our master bathroom. There are so many things that came about because we chose different space.
It's just wild.
Yep.
There's your internal reality,
Yeah.
and there are things that we choose externally that match and validate that.
Yeah.
And like one of the signals that we've noticed, one of the feedback things we've noticed is that when our house gets crazy cluttered,
Yeah.
like laundry piles blowing up here and
Yes.
there,
Yes.
it is a reflection of our interior state.
Yeah.
Because then you'll notice part of the cycle is like the motivation and the inspiration to just clean it all up and feeling energized by that.
Mm-hmm.
Also a reflection of the headspace.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's really cool that we changed the space and everything has started growing in a very short time period. And
I also just think that it's really fascinating that when in our space, the space that we've moved into, it's significantly bigger than where we were. And in the old place, I just found myself so frustrated by the thought of organizing this certain thing or the category in our house or whatever it was. And in this new house, I know it's new, And it's, kind of in the honeymoon phase of the space, maybe. But I feel like I no longer need a Mary Poppins cabinet to put things in, that I'm not shoving things in different places. There are multitudes of areas for my children's clothes to go into. In their room, they have closets. In their own room, that was not the case with August. Just simple stuff like that. So it has cleared up so much for me that when I think of unloading a box, I know exactly where I'm going to put it because I have space to put those things away. And I am such an organized person that not having things organized is a major deal for me. So I'm really excited about being able to put my energy in this space and receive that back in the form of having energy to put into other things like our business and our children.
I feel like we were living with low-level insanity all the time.
Yeah.
And trying to juggle things and trying our best to make it work with that. And
We had multiple multi-purpose rooms.
yes, I think that's like business too. If you've ever had the experience of trying to make things work with a team member and it's just not working, and then you let them go and you realize, oh, that was like the wrong peg in the wrong hole.
Yeah.
You also see that sometimes with your systems and the way that you've been doing things.
Yeah.
There's like these persistent problems that keep popping up, and you finally look at it and give it some real thought, and then you're like, oh,
We've outgrown this.
what if we did it this way instead? And it's like ding, 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 ding.
Yep. Then you get
just
this
like
piece
that.
on the other side of, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of there's remorse of, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah. It's like as we grow, we have to change it up. We have to re-examine the things that were working. They might not be working again, but like that's
Yeah.
the work,
Yeah.
and that's what we get to enjoy. It's never ending.
Yeah. And it's okay that it's never ending. That's the beautiful thing. We all evolve. And I think this is the invitation to evolve, to let your business evolve, your frame of mind evolve, maybe it's your internal dialogue, all these things we need to, or not need to. This is an invitation to evolve. Maybe some things in your business aren't working. Maybe things in your relationship aren't working. There can be a lot of things that aren't working, and it's okay to look at it, and it's okay to say that it's not working and ask for a change.
And it's okay to just survive,
Yeah.
but it's also okay to thrive.
Yeah.
And ask for more than what is the minimum. Like we could have just made it work in the house.
Yeah. Well, I found myself getting really frustrated with you a lot of the time. And when I really took a look at it, that didn't work for me, but it wasn't about you. It was about the space. It was about the frustration. It was about having to juggle the baby for napping. It was about all these other things, but it came out in the form of frustration towards you.
Right.
So maybe it really isn't working for you.
I just want to draw that line for people
Yeah.
that there's a difference between survival, like what we were doing
Yeah.
was surviving,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And that is perfectly acceptable and you can make it work. But the whole point in sharing this with you as you're listening is that you outgrow and that you're then being called to something different.
Sure.
And you can resist that and continue to play in the same way you have been, or you can change it up and follow the call.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. I chose to follow the call. It
You
was not
did.
working.
No.
It was not working for me. I pushed. It felt really uncomfortable for you. And when making changes in our life, we are going to have pushback. And we're going to need to know why.
Yeah.
Maybe if we have a partner and there's different things. So I'm excited for you to change things up.
We are
If
changing
that's-
it up.
If that's something that you desire in your life, if something isn't working for you, your business, your family, whatever.
Yeah. Not much more to add. We appreciate you for listening. If you've got somebody in your life that says and knows that it's time for change, but maybe they're resisting a bit, or maybe they are just unsure of making that leap, share this episode with them. Go to babiesandbiz.com/106. I believe that's this episode number. You can grab the show notes and you can share that link with them directly. They can listen to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, ton of other different platforms.
Yeah.
Give them this information and you never know what could happen.
You never know. It could really, really help them in their situation.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Babies in Business podcast. Who do you know that would benefit from hearing this episode? Share it with them and post about it on social media. You can find the show notes for this episode, free downloads, and connect with the rest of the community at babiesandbiz.com. We'll see you next time.